The Good Morning America studio looked calm and glowing, just like it always does at this early hour. Warm lights filled the room, golden reflections bouncing off the set. Camera cranes moved slowly and smoothly. Teleprompters slid into place and everything felt perfectly rehearsed. At the center of it all sat Lara Spencer. She wore a tailored yellow suit, her posture graceful, her smile effortless. She was the kind of host who made viewers feel they could relax, refill their coffee, and trust that the day would go well. The music faded. Applause filled the room. On the screen, the headline appeared, Meghan Markle, Purpose, Privacy, and Power. "Good morning, everybody," Lara said in her signature calm, friendly voice. "Our next guest is a philanthropist, a producer, a best-selling author. Please welcome Meghan Markle." Meghan walked onto the set like a sealed envelope delivered from somewhere important. She wore a cream blouse, a navy pencil skirt, and a diamond bracelet that caught the light. Her hair was perfectly styled. She sat in the velvet chair across from Lara, crossing one leg elegantly. "Thanks for having me," Meghan said, her smile polite but measured. Her eyes scanned the studio carefully, already assessing the atmosphere. Lara began gracefully. "Many people were touched by your recent work around mental health. For viewers at home who may be struggling, what practical tools have helped you the most?" Meghan's smile cooled slightly. "Well, Lara, people often expect quick tips and tricks, as if healing is just a lifestyle segment, but it's bigger than that. Healing is about having a voice, knowing your autonomy, and setting boundaries." She emphasized the last word firmly, as though it were carved in stone. "When you understand those things, you don't need tools. You need alignment." "Alignment?" Lara repeated, gently nodding. "For some people that might mean therapy or community support." "It might," Meghan interrupted softly, her smile faint but pointed. "Or it might mean refusing to answer simplistic questions." A quiet ripple moved through the audience. Lara didn't flinch. Her tone stayed as soft as silk. "I appreciate your clarity. Let's move to purpose then. You and Prince Harry have launched several initiatives: scholarships, veteran support, digital well-being. Which program has surprised you most with its impact?" Meghan paused, as though carefully choosing where to give her attention. "All of them. But honestly, I don't measure impact by headlines or applause. I measure it by the energy that shifts when people realize systems can change. That's the true impact. Results can be difficult to see immediately," Lara agreed. "Still, is there a story you carry with you? Maybe someone who reached out? A change you witnessed?" Meghan lowered her lashes, her voice calm but firm. "There are many, but I don't share them on cue. Privacy, remember?" Behind the cameras, a cameraman's hand tightened on the focus ring. The room grew a little heavier. Lara's smile remained perfectly in place. "Of course. Completely fair. Let's talk about your craft. You've moved from acting into producing and hosting. What creative muscles are you using now that you didn't use on set?" Meghan leaned back slightly, her tone cool but polished. "That question assumes acting didn't require leadership. It did. I've always led my space. The difference now is simply that more people notice." Lara nodded smoothly, her professionalism unshaken. She pivoted with grace. "You've often spoken about taking authorship of your own narrative. Many women watching at home find that empowering, especially those balancing work and motherhood. What does a typical morning look like in your home?" Meghan let out a small laugh, light but with an edge. "We don't do typical in my home, and I don't think moms need another celebrity pretending we all flip dinosaur-shaped pancakes before yoga. I have a staff. I have structure. I have help because I'm creating big things, and I'm comfortable admitting that." Somewhere off camera, a producer whispered, "Wow," and scribbled a note. Lara stayed unbothered. She nodded softly. "Honesty can actually be refreshing," she said. "There's freedom in acknowledging support systems." "Precisely," Meghan replied quickly. "Which is why it's strange when interviewers push for relatability as if it's a receipt." The line floated between them like perfume, pleasant but sharp in the throat. Lara reached for the next card, though she didn't really need it. "Let's touch on your upcoming series. You've teased conversations with women in high-pressure roles, athletes, scientists, founders. What question are you most excited to ask them?" For the first time, Meghan brightened with genuine light. "I'm always interested in what they refused, the job they didn't take, the man they didn't marry, the smallness they walked away from. Saying no is a superpower. Sometimes saying no is also a privilege," Lara added gently. "Do you ever worry that message might land differently for people who don't have the same safety net?" Meghan folded her hands, her diamond ring flashing. "Sometimes the limitation is just mindset. People underestimate how much of their shine is imagined." The studio cooled. On camera, everything looked beautiful. Two elegant women, perfect lighting. But in the air between them, tension hummed like a thin wire. Lara's tone stayed calm and warm. "Imagination is powerful," she agreed. "But many watching may also want empathy for constraints that aren't imagined, like rent, childcare, healthcare." Meghan's smile tightened. Her voice was sweet but sharp. "I'm aware of the world, Lara, are you? A soft murmur rippled through the audience. Lara inhaled quietly, keeping her composure. "Let's reframe," she said gently. "When your documentary came out, some viewers were inspired. Others felt confronted. If you could rewrite any single moment, not for the critics but to sharpen your own intention, what would it be?" Meghan tilted her head slightly, her tone almost regal. "I don't rewrite. I iterate, and I don't elevate the critiques of people who've built nothing." It wasn't shouted. It wasn't cruel. It was simply a claim of higher ground.
"Building often requires feedback," Lara said, still velvet.
In her tone, "I ask because your platform is enormous. With that comes impact and responsibility." Meghan's eyes glittered. "I'm familiar with responsibility. That's why I choose carefully where I sit." Nervous laughter flickered through the audience. Lara's smile faltered for just a second, but she recovered instantly. "I'm glad you're here," she said warmly. "Viewers want to hear about your work. So let me ask something we promised earlier. What does accountability look like? For the institutions you've criticized and for you personally?" "Outcomes," Meghan answered quickly. "Programs funded, lives improved, conversations elevated. And when those who profit from harm feel uncomfortable, that's also a metric. And for you personally?" Lara asked. Meghan met her gaze directly. "I've never been more aligned." The studio fell silent. It was as if the air itself pressed against the glass of the control room. The stage manager hovered near the commercial cue, ready to break the moment if it went too far. Lara, steady as ever, brought the sparkle back into her voice. "We'll take a quick break," she said smoothly, turning to the camera. "When we come back, Meghan opens up about creative risk, her next project, and what she hopes her legacy will be. Stay with us." Applause rose on command. The music stitched the moment together with brightness. The wide shot looked picture perfect. Manhattan morning, warm golden studio. But in the close-ups, a different picture was forming. Hairline cracks, a chill around the edges. It wasn't a fight, not yet. It was the calm before the storm. "Lara Spencer. Meghan, let's shift the focus a little. Many people wonder, when everything you say is analyzed, criticized, or turned into headlines, how do you hold on to your creativity? Doesn't that pressure block the flow of new ideas?" Meghan Markle. "You know, creativity is like breathing for me. It's something I can't switch off no matter the noise around me. Of course, there are moments when it feels heavy, when I wonder if anything I create will be judged fairly. But in those times, I remind myself that creativity isn't about perfection. It's about expression. It's about giving life to a story, an idea, or even a feeling. That's what keeps me moving." Lara Spencer, nodding. "So in a way, you create not because the world expects it, but because you have to. It's part of who you are." Meghan Markle. "Exactly. If I ever let fear control that part of me, I'd lose one of the purest pieces of myself. And I won't give that up." Lara Spencer, after a pause. "Another thing people always bring up is relatability. There are those who say you live in a world far removed from ordinary life, and that makes it difficult for people to connect with you. What's your take on that?" Meghan Markle smiles, but with firmness. "I think relatability is often misunderstood. People assume that because of titles or fame or privilege, we stop being human. But the truth is, I wake up with worries just like everyone else. I feel joy, I feel loss, I cry, I laugh. Those things don't vanish because of where you live or who you marry. If anything, the scrutiny only adds more layers to it. What people sometimes forget is that behind the headlines, there's a beating heart." Audience reaction. A light murmur spreads through the studio, some nodding, some clapping quietly. Lara Spencer pressing further. "You mentioned emotions, joy, loss, tears. Let's talk about vulnerability. For many public figures, showing vulnerability is risky. Do you feel it's dangerous for someone like you?" Meghan Markle leans forward, voice steady. "Being vulnerable is often seen as weakness. But to me, it's strength. It's the ability to say, yes, I've been hurt. Yes, I've struggled. And yes, I'm still standing. That honesty doesn't make you smaller, it makes you real. And when you're real, people can see themselves in you. Vulnerability isn't about inviting pity. It's about building connection." Lara Spencer, softly. "And yet, critics might say vulnerability opens the door to attack, that people can use it against you." Meghan Markle, calm but resolute. "They can try, and sometimes they succeed, but I'd rather live as someone honest and open than as someone locked behind walls. Vulnerability lets light in, and I'll always choose light over darkness." Lara Spencer, after a pause, switching tone. "Now, Meghan, let's go to another word people tie to you, power. Whether you like it or not, your choices, your words, your presence, it all carries weight. Do you feel powerful?" Meghan Markle smiles faintly, then serious. "Power is a tricky word. People often confuse it with control or dominance. For me, true power is influence. The ability to spark thought, to inspire change, to give someone hope. I don't wake up thinking, I want to be powerful today. But I do wake up hoping my actions have meaning. That to me is power. Lara Spencer, raising an eyebrow. So in your eyes, power isn't about holding the spotlight. It's about how you use it? Meghan Markle. Exactly. The spotlight can blind, but it can also illuminate. I choose to use it to shed light where it's most needed. Audience reaction. Soft applause, a few people stand in support. The mood in the studio grows heavier but deeply engaged. Lara Spencer, leaning forward. Meghan, one word that has followed you everywhere is ambition. For some, it's a compliment. For others, it's a criticism. How do you respond when people label your ambition as something negative? Meghan Markle takes a breath, voice calm but strong. It's interesting, isn't it? When a man is ambitious, he's praised for it. But when a woman shows ambition, suddenly it becomes threatening. My ambition isn't about climbing over people or chasing titles. It's about living fully, using the gifts I've been given and trying to create something meaningful. I will never apologize for wanting to grow, to achieve, to leave something better behind. Ambition is not a dirty word, it's hope in action. Audience reaction. The audience claps louder this time. A few voices cheer. Lara Spencer, after applause settles. Living fully, creating meaning, that brings me to balance. People see you as someone constantly pulled in different directions. Family, public life, personal passions. Do you ever feel you found balance, or is it still a search? Meghan Markle, gentle smile. Balance isn't a destination. It's a dance. Some days I get it right. Other days it's chaos. But I've learned that balance isn't about having equal parts of everything. It's about knowing what matters most in the moment. If my family needs me, that's where I lean. If my work calls, I focus there. I give myself permission not to be perfect. Balance is forgiving yourself for being human. Lara Spencer, softly with curiosity. And what about destiny? Do you believe your path was chosen for you? Or do you believe you've created it yourself? Meghan Markle pauses, then speaks with depth. I believe destiny is a mix of both. Life places doors in front of us, but it's our choice whether to walk through them. Some doors I never imagined would open for me, but they did. And some I had to push hard to unlock. What matters is not the door itself, but what you do once you're inside. That, I believe, shapes destiny. Lara Spencer, pressing with intensity. Some say destiny favors those with authority, those who hold positions of power. But others argue that empathy can be just as strong. Where do you stand? Authority or empathy? Meghan Markle, without hesitation. Empathy always. Authority might demand attention, but empathy earns respect. Authority can silence a room, but empathy opens hearts. I've seen how empathy can transform conversations, heal divides, and even save lives. Authority fades when the title is gone, but empathy lives on in every life you touch. To me, that is the real legacy. Audience reaction. The studio breaks into applause. Some stand, some wipe away tears. The energy is powerful and emotional. Lara Spencer, voice steady but emotional. Meghan, after everything you've shared, your boundaries, your creativity, your ambition, your empathy, what do you hope people take away from today? Meghan Markle looks directly into the camera, voice warm yet firm. I hope people see that no matter the noise, no matter the judgment, you can still choose to live with truth, compassion, and courage. That you can claim your story without apology. And that in the end, your life is defined not by what others say about you, but by how you choose to live it. Audience reaction. A standing ovation fills the studio. Some cheer. Others clap slowly with admiration. The moment feels heavy, almost historic. Lara Spencer, smiling, closing the show. Thank you, Meghan, for being so open, so real. And thank you to our audience for joining us on this very special conversation. This has been Good Morning America. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and take care.